Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Monday, Mafia Monday. I got the laptop open. We're going to start chapter 14. We're going scene by scene through all three novels that I wrote about the Los Angeles Syndicate. We're starting with the first one, California Gangsters. We're following our main character, young Simon Castro, as he makes his bones in the Mafia and tries to start his own crew so he can join the Syndicate and get a seat on the board of directors. His father, after a long career, has just taken over the LA crime family and moved up into the Syndicate. Simon has been tasked by the Syndicate to go to Las Vegas and to commit a murder. He's going to kill a rat bastard looking for Giovanni. So let's go to Vegas. Let's paint the town red. In fact, that's the title of chapter 14, Painting the Town Red. Red with blood, I hope. I don't know what's going to happen either. I haven't pre-read this scene, and I haven't really read this novel in 4 years. I wrote this years ago. I'm currently working on a different book. So let's get into it. Set your mood right. I got Mr. Snubby, as usual. He's always ready. The next day I woke up early and went down to the restaurant for breakfast. I usually woke up starving, like a hungry animal. In the lobby I bumped into an 18-year-old kid who worked as a delivery boy at Frank's pizza joint over on Melrose. We were both headed to the restaurant and I said to him, Don't tell me Frank has you delivering pizza all the way out here in Vegas." He smiled wide when he recognized me and replied, "Hey, Simon, fancy seeing you out here. I'm out here with my pop. He wants to teach me how to play poker. He says he can get me a job as a dealer in Frank's card room up in North Hollywood. I'd rather do that than deliver pizza. Probably makes more money too." I said, "Hey, you going to be here for a few days? You want to make some quick cash and do me a favor?" The kid looked around the lobby for his father and smiled wide with a sly grin. He replied, "What do I got to do?" I said, "I need you to go over to the Holiday Inn Hotel, okay? I want you to count how many cops are in the lobby and how many men in black suits are up on the third floor. Get up there the best way you can, and if someone fucks with you, just play dumb. You look very young, so nobody is going to think anything. When you get the layout of the place, come back here and tell me exactly what you saw." The kid ran directly out of the lobby and down the street as soon as I was done giving him orders. I went into the buffet and plowed through 6 or 7 plates of food. Honestly, I couldn't count after 3. This is why I love Vegas. After an hour, I was completely full. I left the restaurant to go upstairs to the weight room and work off some of the heavy meal. The kid came running back in the lobby as I was waiting for the elevators. He was smiling when he saw me, which made me happy that he had accomplished his mission. He caught his breath and said, "Hey, are you ready for this? Check it out." There were 4 cops out front and 2 in the lobby. I took the elevator up and got off on the 3rd floor. They had one guy in a black suit out front of a door, and that's it. I was pleased, and I gave the kid a $100 bill for his mission. I said, "You did great, kid." He shook my hand and said, "Thank you, Simon. Hey, are you starting your own crew? I heard a rumor. Remember me when you're thinking about new soldiers." I replied, "You don't say another word to anyone about that. Let's not spread any rumors. There's a time and place for everything. Capiche?" He smiled wide and ran off with the cash in his hand, ready for the poker tables with his father. I called Steve from the phone in my room as I got ready into my workout clothes. The phone rang several times, and he finally answered. I said, "Hey, have your guys at the hotel at sundown." Big Steve replied, "Okay, Simon, no problem. Hey, brother, I got an extra bike for you if you want to ride with us this weekend into the desert." I said, "Right now I'm only thinking as far ahead as tonight. After I complete my job, we can discuss our vacation plans together." Steve burst into laughter and replied, "I read you loud and clear, brother. See you this evening." That night, the sun was setting, glowing orange and red over the city and the desert. I pulled into the Holiday Inn parking lot and saw dozens of Harley-Davidson motorcycles of every kind. Big Steve had called the entire Vegas chapter in, as well as a few randoms from other clubs. I dressed in black jeans, black boots, and a black t-shirt so I would blend in with the biker crowd. The guys were parking their bikes, greeting each other with hugs, and gathering around the entrance of the hotel in large groups. I had my 2 pistols on my waist tucked under my shirt. I had a 45 for backup and a 22 for the hit. A German Luger 22 caliber bullet shot into the human skull is what Frank calls scrambled eggs. The small yet very fast bullet bounces around and scrambles his brain like the eggs at Norm's Diner. I walked around the parking lot, greeting some of the guys, and then made my way up the driveway into the hotel. There were a group of bikers standing by the front doors, and I stopped to shake hands and chat for a second. The entire place was fully overrun with guys on motorcycles. The hotel staff was visibly overwhelmed and not sure what to do with the onslaught of bikes and beards all over the property. I strolled past the front desk unnoticed and proceeded to the staircase, where 3 bikers were standing and drinking beers. I stood with them for a second to chat, and then slipped into the staircase like a ninja. I slowly walked up to the 3rd floor, allowing plenty of time for the bikers to start their ruckus downstairs. I took the silencer out of my back pocket and twisted it onto the threaded barrel of the Luger pistol. I practiced at the range in Beverly Hills for many hours with that very gun. It felt like it was a part of my right hand. I got up to the 3rd floor and took a deep breath to calm my nerves. I stopped at the metal door leading to the hallway. I learned that if I imagined my murders before I did them, they always went better. I opened the door slowly to get a peek down the hall and spotted the federal agent who was standing in front of room 306. He was looking up at the ceiling for some reason. He was humming to himself what sounded like a fucking theme song to a TV show, maybe Sanford and Son. I looked up to see what he was staring at. Just out of mutual curiosity, I guess. There was a small bug trapped in the overhead light fixture. The federal agent was conveniently fixated on it with tunnel vision. This was my moment to act. Frank always taught me to wait for the right moment, just like my coach at USC used to teach me. My heart starts to beat faster, and a little voice in my head said, "Now, move now." I stepped into the hallway with my pistol in my hand, letting the door shut silently. I slowly walked up to the distracted federal agent. I was able to get within inches of him before he suddenly noticed that I was standing over him with my silencer pointed at his forehead. As his eyes met mine, I said, "Thank you for your service." He tried to respond, but at that moment I squeezed the trigger, shooting the agent through his eye socket with one silent shot. His surprised expression was frozen on his face. He dropped to his knees, dead, with scrambled eggs. I picked him up, carried him down the hall, and tossed him into the stairwell out of sight. I kicked open the door to room 306 with one big kick. The main area and patio were empty. I heard loud classical music blasting from the bedroom. It was opera. I fucking hate opera. I found Giovanni naked as a jaybird in the bathtub, pretending to be the conductor of some imaginary orchestra. He was using his cigar as his conductor's wand. He was in rat heaven. loving life, like he was the goddamn king of the world. It made me angry seeing him so happy, knowing what he did to Tommy Bogota and the entire LA family. I opened the door to get enough of my arm in and shut the lights off. Giovanni said, "God damn it, this cheap fucking hotel. What a time for a power outage." He slid out of the tub, wet like a seal at the wharf, blindly searching for the bathroom door. Giovanni bumped right into me in the dark. I grabbed him by his wet throat with my left hand, squeezing tightly. He let out a whimper as I wrapped my long fingers around his neck, shutting off his windpipe. I lifted him up off the floor and slammed his head against the wall. I turned the light on as Giovanni slid down the wall to the floor, catching his breath. He tried to speak and kept saying over and over, gasping, "Simon! Simon!" The pistol was trained on his head. I told him in my deepest voice, "Giovanni Serra, I am the angel of death." Giovanni looked up at me from the floor, mortified with his eyes. He said, "Please, Simon, cut me a break, will you? We're all family. I'll pay you twice what the company is paying you. I can leave the country and nobody will know. Please, Simon, do me this one favor." I heard the sirens from the police reinforcements pulling into the parking lot downstairs to take care of the riot that the bikers had just started. I shot Giovanni in his head 3 times. His head slid back against the wall with blood dripping out of the entrance holes. I took out my pocket knife and slit his throat from ear to ear. I wrapped a handful of toilet paper around my fingers and grabbed his tongue, sawing it off as best as I could. I carefully placed the bloody thing in his open hand before I left. The hit only took a few minutes, and I left the room with that shitty opera music of his blasting. I took the stairs back down to the main entrance of the hotel, stepping over the dead FBI agent. When I hit the first floor and popped open the door, I saw the crew of wild bikers tossing chairs, throwing bottles of booze against the wall, and turning the entire hotel lobby upside down. They were fighting the hotel security as well as the Las Vegas Police Department. It was hilarious. I literally walked out the front door of the hotel laughing. I got to the parking lot and saw Big Steve fighting against 2 cops at once. He was tossing them around like rag dolls. He gave me a smile and a thumbs up as he turned to attack a group of 3 more cops that ran by him. At that moment, 2 cops came up from behind me and grabbed both of my arms. One said to me, "Please come with us, sir." My heart jumped. I tossed them both down the front steps of the hotel into the driveway and pulled out my .45 caliber backup pistol. I quickly fired 4 shots at the 2 pigs. Like a cannon had gone off, sounding the shots to revolution. The hotel echoed, bang, 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 bang. I hit 1 cop in his head and his throat, and 1 in his chest and his crotch. The shots freaked out the cops and made the bikers go berserk. Everyone had guns, and it became a pistol party real quick. All of a sudden, I heard gunshots going off all around me. Bullets were flying across the parking lot from every direction. Bikers were shooting the cops, and the cops were shooting the bikers. The cops jumped behind their cars, calling for backup and trying to hold their position. I had to get out of Dodge as fast as possible. I ran out to my car, driving slowly out of the parking lot around the back of the hotel. I took a turn on a small side street and was back on the Vegas Strip within seconds, free from the cops and the wild riot at the Holiday Inn. Let's stop here. That was a longer scene. I could keep going. We'll pick up next Monday.